Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Aurora online classes. And let's proceed with the same lesson ahead. Actually, in my previous class, dear students, I taught you that things changed with the passage of time and years passed, and with the passage of time, so many things changed. There was a great change in the village. Now there was a village, but now it wasn't a village, it was a small town now with the passage of time. Then there also came into a cinema under the tin set. Earlier it was a primary school, and now the primary school became a high school. So these were the changes that took place with the passage of time. Then one day what happened, then there was also a ginning mill there. Ginning mill is actually a machine used to separate raw cotton from its seeds. So actually there was a great change in the society, and now she had also grown up. I mean to say, Bholi had also grown up. Now Ram Lal was worried about her marriage, and it was a pleasant surprise for the family. Both Ram Lal and his wife were talking about the marriage of, I mean to say, Bholi. And then there was a proposal, the proposal of Bisambar for her marriage was a pleasant surprise for them. And then she got agreed, Ramlal's wife got agreed to this proposal, because Ramlal was a rich man. He was a grocer. Grocer means one who sells household things, जैसे किराने की दुकान, किराने का दुकानदार. So he had lot of money. He had his own house, and actually, but this Bisambar, this Bisambar was of the age of Bholi's father. Even though Ramlal's wife agreed to this proposal, and Ramlal's wife told Ramlal that Bholi is fortunate enough, she is lucky enough to a rich husband like Bisambar. Let's go ahead. That's right, but he is not so young, you know, almost the same age as I am. And he also limps. Bisambar also limped. Limp means, if you limp, it means you walk with difficulty. Maybe because of there is a stiffness in your leg, langda kar chalna. So moreover, the children from his first wife are quite grown up. Bisambar was already a married man, and he had grown up children from his first wife. So what does it matter? His wife replied, 45 or 50, it is no great age for a man. We are lucky that he is from another village and does not know about her pock marks and her lack of sense. If we don't accept this proposal, she may remain unmarried all her life. This is the logic of Ramlal's wife. She says it doesn't matter, age doesn't matter. He is a rich man, and just see Bholi is having pock marks on her face. She looks ugly, and even if Bholi doesn't get married, even if Bholi is not married to such a man, then Bholi will remain unmarried throughout her life. So she accepted this proposal. This marriage proposal is a nice proposal. This is what she said. Yes, but I wonder what will Bholi say? Bholi will say, what will that witless one say? Witless, there is the word witless. Witless means foolish. One who doesn't have wit. Wit means intellect, buddhi. So one who is devoid of wit, or one who is without wit, one who is without sense, one who is without intellect, called witless. Witless means stupid, foolish. So what will that witless one say? Says like a dumb cow. Maybe you are right, muttered Ramlal. In other corner of the courtyard, Bholi lay awake on her cot, listening to her parents' whispered conversation. She was listening to their conversation. In the other corner of the Bishambar Nath was a well-to-do grocer. Let us talk about Bishambar Nath. He was a well-to-do. Well-to-do means rich. Grocer means one who sells household things. किराने के दुकान चलाने वाला in Hindi. He came with a big party of friends and relations with him for the wedding. A brass band playing a popular tune from an Indian film headed the procession, with the bridegroom riding a decorated horse. Ramlal was overjoyed to see such pomp and splendor. He had never dreamt that his fourth daughter would have such a grand wedding. Bholi's elder sisters who had come for the occasion were envious of her life. So now this auspicious moment come, and on such a grand day, this was a marriage day, Bishambar's marriage day. Bishambar was a rich man. He came with a splendor. He came with a splendor. It was a grand procession. There was a brass band playing the tune of a film. He came with a party of his friends and relatives, and he was sitting on he was riding on a decorated horse because he was the bridegroom. Ramlal was very much overjoyed. He had never seen such a grand wedding in his life. And even this was the reaction. Bholi's elder sisters, they were also present on the occasion, and they were envious, they were jealous of Bholi's luck, that Bholi is going to get married to such a rich man. This was the reaction of Bholi's sisters. When the auspicious moment came, the priest said, "Bring the bride." Bholi, clad in a red silken bridal dress, was led to the bride's place near the sacred fire. "Garland the bride," one of his friends prompted Bishambar Nath. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigolds. A woman slipped back the silken veil from the bride's face. Bishambar took a quick glance. The garland remained poised in his hands. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. "Have you seen her?" said Bishambar to the friend next to him. "She has pock marks on her face." "So what? You are not young either." "Maybe, but if I am to marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor, at Bishambar's feet. "Do not humiliate me so. Take 2,000 rupees. No, 5,000. Or we go back. Keep your daughter. Be a little considerate. Please, if you go back, I can never show my face in the village." "Then out with 5,000. Tears streaming down his face, Ramlal went in, opened the safe and counted out the notes. He placed the bundle at the bridegroom's feet. On Bishambar's greedy face appeared a triumphant smile. She had gambled and won. "Give me the garland," he announced. Once again the veil was slipped back from the bride's face. But this time her eyes were not downcast. She was looking up, looking straight at her prospective husband. And in her eyes there was neither anger nor hate, only cold contempt, means hatred. Bishambar raised the garland to place it round the bride's neck. But before he could do so, Bholi's hand struck out like a streak of lightning, and garland was flung into the fire. She got up and threw away the veil. "Pitaji," said Bholi in a clear and loud voice, and her father, mother, sisters, brothers, relations, and neighbors were startled to hear her speak without even the slightest stammer. "Pitaji, take back your money. I am not going to marry this man." Ramlal was thunderstruck. The guests began to whisper. So shameless, so ugly, and so shameless girl. Bholi, are you crazy? Shouted Ramlal. You want to disgrace your family. Have some regard for our izzat. For the sake of your izzat, had said Bholi, I was willing to marry this lame old man, Langda. But I will not have such a mean, greedy, and contemptible card as my husband. I won't, I won't, I won't. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless, dumb cow. Bholi turned violently on the old woman. Yes, aunt, you are right. You all thought I was a dumb, driven cow. That's why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. But now the dumb cow, the stammering fool, is speaking. Do you want to hear more? Bishambarnath the grocer started to go back with his part. The confused bandsman thought this was the end of the ceremony and struck up a closing song. Ramlal stood rooted to the ground, his head bowed low with the weight of grief and shame. Underline it. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died down. Everyone was gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi and said, But what about you? No one will ever marry you now. What shall we do with you? And Sulekha said in a voice that was calm and steady, Don't you worry, Pitaji. In your old days, I will serve you and mother. And I will teach in the same school where I learned so much. Isn't that right, ma'am? The teacher had all along stood in a corner, watching the drama. Yes, Bholi, of course, she replied. And in her smiling eyes was the light of a deep satisfaction that an artist feels when contemplating the completion of a masterpiece. Actually, that auspicious moment arrived, and this fellow, Bishambarnath, as he was a rich man, and he came as a bridegroom, was riding on a decorated horse. And he came with a party of his friends and relatives. And it was a grand wedding. He himself was rich. Secondly, since it was a grand wedding and Bishambar was overjoyed, he was so happy and so excited on the wedding day. Till now, Bishambar did not know that Bholi had pock marks on her face. So there was a woman there who slipped back the veil, the covering of the face, in Hindi ghungat. So that woman slipped back the veil, and when the veil of that Bholi was slipped back, Bishambarnath took a glance at her face, and then Bishambarnath found that there are pock marks on her face. Bishambarnath wanted to put a garland around her neck. He stopped. The garland poised in his hands. And then he refused to marry Bholi. Then there was a chaos. All the relatives, friends of the bridegroom sides and from the bride sides, all of them were present on the wedding ceremony. And this was the matter of honor for Ramlal. Ramlal came and put his turban at Bishambar's feet. Bishambar demanded 5,000 rupees as a dowry. Bishambar told Ramlal frankly, if you give me 5,000 rupees, then I'll marry your daughter. Otherwise, keep your daughter with you and we are going back from here. Ramlal started crying. At first Ramlal tried to persuade him with 2,000 rupees. Then Bishambarnath told him frankly that I will not take even a single pie less than 5,000 rupees. If you give me 5,000 rupees, I am ready to marry your daughter, otherwise we are going away from you and keep your daughter with you. Then Ramlal went inside and got 5,000 rupees from there and kept at Bisambhar's feet. And now he was happy. Now Bisambharnath was happy. He felt that he has won the battle. And then he went a little forward to put the garland around Bholi's neck. But at the same time, Bholi's did refuse to accept the garland. And once again, Bholi's veil was slipped back. She lifted her veil out and took the garland and threw into the fire and told everybody that I don't want to marry this man. This man is very mean, very vile, neech in Hindi. He is so selfish and so greedy, and I don't want to marry such a hateful, mean, greedy and selfish man. And told her father, please don't bow down at his feet, such a greedy man. He is a coward. He doesn't have courage. So take him, let him go back away from here. I am not bothered about. Then all the relatives and friends, they started whispering. And they started blaming Bholi. They started saying as to who will marry Bholi. They started saying that Bholi has dishonored them, humiliated them, insulted them. Then who will marry? And she was just like one of the women said, she is just like a dumb cow. And now today she has started speaking. So shame on you, Bholi. Shameless girl. So shameless, so ugly. And she is talking a lot. Who will marry such a girl? Who will marry such an ugly girl? And Ramlal's head was bowed down with grief and shame. Because that was, then she said, for the honor, even her father said, who will marry you and what is about my honor? Then Bholi said, I have kept quiet, and I have kept quiet for the sake of your honor, father. To save the honor of the family, I accepted the proposal of marriage. Otherwise, in the very beginning, I could have denied it, I could have refused it. But in order to save the honor of my family, I kept quiet and I agreed to marry such a man. But now I have come to know that such a man is a greedy man. He is so selfish. So I don't want to marry such a man. Let him go back away from here. Now, there was Father Ramlal was dumbstruck. Everybody was dumbstruck. And then Sulekha, her real name is Sulekha, and Sulekha told very calmly and steadily her father, Pitaji, don't worry, I will not marry, and please don't worry about me. I'll serve you and mother in your old age. I will not leave you in trouble. I will live with you. I will remain with you. And I will not marry, and I'll remain with you. And I'll serve you. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. I'll take care, both of you. I'll take care of you and mother in your old age. And I'll teach in the same school. I'll teach in the same school from where I have learned so much. I'll teach in the same school where I have learned so much. And you know, on that day, her lady teacher who taught her, she was also present on that day. And she was watching all the drama. Bholi looked at her teacher. And in order to get her confirmation and affirmation, she asked, "Isn't that right, ma'am?" Then she became very happy. The teacher became very happy that Bholi came forward and she spoke against this dowry system. And this was just because of she was full of confidence. She was bold and brave. She acted very bravely. And it was just because of the education that she got there in that school. So there was a transformation in her life. She became bold and brave. She became confident, and she spoke against that dowry system. She acted very bravely. She really deserves appreciation. The teacher appreciated her. The teacher was very kind-hearted. She taught Bholi with great care. She taught Bholi with love and affection. She was so kind-hearted. And she was very happy. She felt a sense of satisfaction as an artist feels after the completion of her masterpiece. Of his masterpiece. And the teacher had the same kind of satisfaction. The teacher had the same kind of feeling. Yes, this Bholi is my Bholi. This Bholi is a different Bholi. This Bholi is not a dumb cow. This Bholi doesn't stammer now. This Bholi is a confident Bholi. Dear students, this story comes to its end. Thank you very much. It's really an inspiring story. We should not keep quiet. If we see that there is something wrong happening somewhere, we should oppose it. We should not accept it. We should not favor it. We should deny it, we should refute it, and we should speak against anything happening wrong with anyone, anything wrong happening with anyone. We should always favor the truth. So now, this was a new Bholi, this was an educated Bholi, brave Bholi, confident Bholi, bold Bholi. She was not a card. So, thank you very much, and thus your lesson comes to an end. Thank you very much. That's all for today, and this is the end of the lesson, and this is not only the end of the lesson, but I have finished this book, Footprints Without Feet. Thank you very much, dear.